Hey, my Taurus babies. This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. All right, so this is not, I know y'all like, ooh, this is a weekly update. Nope, not the weekly update. This is Taurus and Scorpio 2020. Who knew? Who knew? I'm not satisfied with my my single numbers for like individual zodiacs for the year. They're too low at this point, and I know that has more to do with my ranking on YouTube than anything. But I don't know. I have a huge Scorpio, Taurus, well obviously Taurus, Pisces following that, going through the numbers. If I'm just looking at the number of views per video, so let me say here. Thank you very much this year for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I am humbled. More than y'all know. Thank you. Please continue to do so. If you've not subscribed, please feel free. We are doing $20 personal readings. I know everybody's like, why so cheap? Well, you can pay me $20 and get probably $100 reading, or you can pay somebody $150 and get a $20 reading. I mean, that's on you, but I'm just saying, people that I've read for, and if you read through some of the comments, they're not all in the comments, a lot of them are personal emails, but if you read through some of the comments, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. If this is resonating with you, let somebody else know. If it is not, if it does not resonate, check your sun, moon, and rising sign. This is going to be for Taurus and Scorpio. Check out some of the other readers on YouTube. If you have not, YouTube has some excellent readers. Let's see, what the heck else? Okay, so some of the messages coming in for this reading. This is Taurus and Scorpio for the 2020 year. 9 cards, 9 questions. So we start, and it's going to be it'll look just like my regular layouts, 3, 3, and 3. Except it's not recent past, it's not current, and it's not future energy that we're looking at. Each card has an individual designation. So for the first row, the first card will be an overview of this year. The second card in the first row will be departing energies. The third card in the first row will be what you need to let go of for the new year. The first card in the second row will be what's important for the focus, your focus, for the new year. The second card will be, as it always is, the centerpiece, the challenge, and the obstacle for the year. The third card in the second row will be where your help will come from. What groups of folks or energies will be helpful to you in the upcoming year. First card, third row, upcoming opportunities. Second card, what needs aligning, which is interesting. It'll tell you what energies you need to line up. I know from my own personal reading, so damn true, it wasn't funny. I forget what the cards were, but what was my... So what I needed aligning in my sacral chakra and the Queen of Wands is what popped up. And the message that I got was for my personal energy. And the fuck if it ain't right. My personal energy isn't lined up. I'm thinking one thing, doing another thing, and hoping for a third thing. Who knew? So, 3 almost very specific areas in my life. And it's the same thing. I want one thing, doing another, and hoping for a third. So I need to sit down and get my action together, and I'm gonna figure. And when I come up with these layouts, it's don't think it's something. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. No, it don't work like that. It has to be something that comes to me. It can't be just some shit I'm sitting around doodling, and it has to be guided. So I have to, hear what it is, and places that I go and look and read. But this is my reading for the new year. So this is going to be for Taurus and Scorpio. As always, enhanced reading. So we're using 2 decks. let's get this kicked off, Taurus and Scorpio. I'm not doing overall energy. Obviously, that changes shit from day to day, week to week, month to month. So we're going to leave that part out. I will, however, pull oracle cards at the end. A reminder that I do my cards straight up and I don't do reversals. So, first row, your last year, summary and overview, the light card, departing energies, the hope card, what to let go of, rejoice in celebration. And unlike other readings that I do, you can't take these base cards as what's leaving and what's coming and what's going. It'll make more sense when the second card gets put on top. In the second row, what's important for your new year focus, passion ignited, your centerpiece, your challenge and your obstacle card, material and spiritual prosperity, where help will come from, pulls the truth card, upcoming opportunities, pulls the solar plexus chakra, I can, what needs aligning, new beginnings, what to avoid, fertility, oh damn. I don't even want to think about that. From this deck, let's round it out here. See if I can get my notebook where I can at least see what I'm trying to read. So for your last year overview, light pulls the High Priestess. For departing energies, hope pulls the Queen of Wands. What to let go of, rejoice in celebration, pulls the Seven of Wands. What's important for the new year, your focus, pulls the Queen of Swords on top of passion ignited. Your centerpiece and your challenge, material prosperity, material and spiritual prosperity. Well, that's Taurus energy, ain't it? Nine of coin. Where your help will come from, the truth is pulling the Ace of Wands. Upcoming opportunities for the new year. Solar plexus, I can, is pulling the Eight of Cups, moving and rising above. What needs aligning? New beginnings. Well, oh damn. Ooh, I hate tarot cards sometimes. They just be telling too damn much truth. This is what needs aligning next year, y'all. We're going to come back to that. Oh boy. What to avoid in the upcoming year? Fertility and the Death card. Okay. Let's get it cracking, Taurus and Scorpio. This is interesting as hell. Real interesting. So, the overview for this year, the light with the High Priestess. A lot of you, as couples, let me say this. The energies that we're coming up before I even put the cards down. This is for, this obviously is not going to resonate with everybody. Eat the fish, leave the bones. There are some gems in here if you're just in a Taurus and Scorpio relationship. However, the primary and dominant energies are for those of you that have recently gotten back together, the redo, or for those of you that have been in this energy for at least a year. So this is not new couples. There will be some shit in here that you'll hear that will definitely apply to new couples. If you just got with your Scorpio and this is the first time, it ain't a do-over or makeover or underdo or whatever. But if you've been in a relationship for about a year or so, or if this is a do-over, this is definitely talking to you. So, with the overview for this year, with the light and having a vision, not being short-sighted. And so, what I'm hearing is that the two of you tried to have some kind of vision, especially those of you getting back together. If you got back together at some point this year, this is the do-over, the second time around. Getting back into this the second time, you did it a little differently, and you wanted to bring the energy of not being short-sighted. It feels like a lot of you, when you broke up or split up or parted ways the first time, it had a lot to do with not being on the same page as far as what direction the relationship was going in. And so with that causes short-sightedness. So things got missed, bills may not have been paid, things may have been lost. Money, a lot of money, I'm hearing change jingling around, so a lot of money may have been lost or just wasted because you guys were not on the same page. One of you was doing one thing and the other was doing something else, which in turn kind of just kicked you up out of your light for whatever that's worth. Coming back into this, you're trying to get in the light. So you're trying to be very transparent with each other, particularly where it comes to finances, joint finances, and how you're doing things over again. For those of you that have been in your relationship for a while, it's the same energy. At some point there may have been a problem with something, house, car, and the two of you just were not on the same page. Bull was going one way and the little scorpion was running off another direction. And it just caused problems. And at some point recently, you decided you're going to put your shit back on track. And this is, again, money is just coming all out of that. For your departing energies, the hopelessness, this says hope, but if it were this, if it were reversed, that I can pick up that energy too. Energy on the hope end is weak. And so what's leaving is your lack of confidence in each other, not just yourselves, but in each other. That's the departing energy that's going to leave you next year. And it's particularly bringing back for those of you on the do-over kick. So because I see this here, and this is fire. So this is the passion that you guys have for each other. And just kind of picking up on the other energy that's here with the wand cards, it's about your passion. You guys are kind of circling back and realizing why you fell in love with each other the first time, if that makes sense. So what's leaving is that lack of confidence, the lack of sexiness, the lack of passion, the lack, all of that, and getting you back onto a path of having some hope. Because prior to this, like I said, y'all just like, I don't think we ever gonna get our sexy back. That energy is gonna leave you next year, and that should reignite and re-spark some passion. What to let go of for next year? One of the both of you get into these situations where you feel like you have to be defensive, and you just defensive about everything. For those of you going back in for the do-over, and when I say everything in terms of when your partner asks you, you know, well, why did you do blah, blah, blah? And it's like, well, you know, I do this because blah, blah, blah. That energy, that's what you need to let go of. If one of the other of you, whether it's the Scorpio or the Taurus, ask a question like, why did you park the car in the middle of the driveway? You don't have to be defensive about it. That's an example, but whoever this is resonating with, y'all know what I'm saying. Let it go. And I mean, it says rejoice in celebration, but for real, that's what you need to be doing. That should be the focus of where you can collaborate, where you can work together. And so maybe if you're not the one being defensive and you're the one asking the questions, which really sounded like Taurus asking questions of the Scorpio, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? Old girl right here, the Queen of Swords with her stuff, name in the corner, name in the other corner, that shit. Taurus, maybe, I'm just saying maybe, if you want to back up, if this is you asking the question of the Scorpio, and the reverse energy is true, Scorpio asking the question of Taurus, maybe rephrasing the question, maybe not making it sound like an indictment, and not that you're meaning to. In the course of a day, if we think about everything that we worry about, stress about, a lot of times, you know, we think because we're done, we've solved whatever problem and we've moved on to the next thing, that stress goes with it. It doesn't. You still hear it in your voice, your mannerisms, you know, just because we have a lot going on. Just the world we live in now, we just have a lot. And the shit, you get these little cell phones and you can put your life on it. You spend your life on your phone. So all of that said, both of you, whoever's acting defensive, no need to, and whoever's asking the questions, maybe be a little more thoughtful about how you're asking the question. And it's your partnership is a collaboration. Above all else, it's a collaboration. It's about celebrating all the little shit, not just the big shit. So sometimes that means maybe, yeah, dude left the toilet seat up again for the 999th time. Everybody gets that. But, sometimes you just have to let some shit go and just be happy for what it is. Just put that there. Leave it there. What's important for the new year? What your focus should be. Right back up here. Getting your sexy back. For those of you doing the do-over, reigniting your passion. For those of you that have been cruising along, same thing, reigniting the passion. Those of you that are in new relationships, you just got with your Scorpio this year, in 2019, just as a cautionary tale. Keeping it together, keeping it tight, keeping the passion ignited, doing things, date night. It don't have to just be sitting on the sofa watching TV, eating bonbons. You can get up, go bowling, go skating, do something else. Something that you're both comfortable doing so that you don't have to hear what the rest of these folks are hearing about. You need to reignite your passion. With that, for a change, I get to stand her on her head. Let Taurus, I'm talking to you now. This is this intellectual shit that we do, that mind shit. And this is air, so work with me here. Everything don't have to be, really, it don't. I know, yeah, it's got to go in that corner. It don't, it's not that serious. Once again, that's bringing me back up here. We wonder sometimes, why I was just so defensive. Well, have you thought about how you're asking the question? And this is a partnership, so you can only see your side. You're not in the other person's head, so sometimes you need to hear a third person saying, can you say it differently, maybe? I'm just throwing that out there. This is the energy of what will be important next year. Reigniting the passion, becoming a little creative, or if you're new, getting creative and staying that way. And whoever this is applying to here, letting some of this go. Just everything doesn't have to be pre-planned. Hello. Everything doesn't have to have an agenda. Go on vacation with no itinerary. Get your airline ticket, your passport, and go. You don't have to have every hour of the day jam-packed. I know I'm talking to Taurus. This is some shit I do. Every hour of the day does not have to be jam-packed with thought or activity, Taurus. I'm just saying, it don't. That's the energy that you need to focus on. Is keeping it light, keeping it breezy, and keeping the passion in the relationship lit up. The challenge for this year, Taurus and Scorpio, I don't know why money is jangling around, but money. And creating a higher standard for your financial shit. Now this is above and beyond the romantic, but this probably for the year should probably just kind of be the anchor of where you come back to and where the check-in point should be. I don't know if some of you have had problems, because that's the theme thus far from this reading with just money. If there was a problem with money, losing money, wasting money, however that's resonating, both of you sitting down, this is your obstacle and your challenge for next year, sitting down and coming up with a better financial plan. And this is not little short-term shit. I'm talking long-term. Y'all ain't talking long. Yeah, I'm talking long-term. And looking at things, I'm saying, I don't know why, whoever this is resonating for, looking at how technology can help you get organized to create that higher standard and to maintain and monitor what you're doing. And maybe instead of using something that doesn't allow you to do those things, finding something that does, so you can increase your material prosperity. In a lot of instances, sometimes when your material prosperity increases, your spiritual prosperity increases. And the same, obviously, vice versa is true when your spiritual increases. But sometimes, for some of us, especially when we have the collaboration of energies, it's not just you, Taurus, it's not just you, Scorpio, it's Taurus and Scorpio. And that Taurus has its own energy, Scorpio has its own energy, but when you bring those two things together, they had that third thing is energy. And sometimes what would normally work for Taurus, for example, of being spiritually prosperous, which that in turn manifest your material prosperity. Sometimes when you combine those energies, you might have to do the first to get to the second. It just is what it is. And there's no good, bad, or indifferent. Universe really doesn't care about what's good. That's us in language, about what feels good and what feels bad. Universe is only going off of vibration. And sometimes the higher vibration is to get the material part. And this is Taurus energy. Material, that's Taurus. That is definitely Taurus all day. Spiritual probably would be more Scorpio because that water in nature, emotional shit. Bring those two together. So your focus for the year is to just keep your eye on what you have, your material wealth, and making sure that, again, there's my light card, that you are as transparent as you can both be about what you want to do with your money. That doesn't mean you have to tell what you're doing with every dollar, every paycheck. No. But with the collective, what the couple is doing. That's your obstacle, your challenge, and where you should kind of anchor yourself for the year. Where help will come from, both of you recognizing your personal truths. There's that 20 again for the new year, who knew? And finding inspiration. Finding that inspiration to keep your passion ignited. Those are the things that will help you. That's where your help will come from next year. So obviously being around people, places, or things that inspire you. Because if it inspires you as an individual, it damn sure is going to help the relationship. Doesn't matter. So both of you finding things to stay inspired, and that's where you'll gain a lot of insight, i.e. a lot of help as far as navigating any kind of issue. Sometimes you have to deal with issues from any other direction except head on. You might have to look at something else before you can totally appreciate what's inspiring to you. And if you can do it as a couple, all the better. But it really is just about individually, whatever inspires you. That'll be where your help comes from. Obviously, whatever people, however that's resonating with you. Upcoming opportunities, the solar plexus, I can for the year. About moving above, one or both of you talking about promotions. This is a heavy money reading. That's all I can tell you. The love is there. You can't deal with finances at this level. And it doesn't matter how much money we're talking about. If both of y'all make $200 a week, okay, that's what we're talking about. If you make $2,000 a week, that's what we're talking about. Doesn't matter the amount. But the theme here is about both of you getting together, whatever. For those of you in a do-over, especially, if you broke up over something financial, y'all are hearing this loud and clear. Next year is going to be about rising above. And the more you strive to do that I can shit, come on now, that will be exactly where your opportunities lie. As you would be, all you gotta do is make that first step. You make that first step, help will come out the woodwork for both of you. Finances, again, trying to get that promotion, trying to get more money. Some of you may even be looking to get second jobs. Same thing. You just make that first step, the universe is going to kick in and get the rest of it. That's where your opportunities will lie. For some of you, that second job might be the opening to the bigger, better job you really want. So keep that in mind. And again, this is resonating for both Taurus and Scorpio. It's water, it's cups, definitely Scorpio, but Taurus is in here as well. What needs aligning in your relationship? How do I say this? If it's a new beginning, so now y'all know who I'm talking to. This is do-over people. Even those of you that are kind of just still been in a relationship and didn't break up, but you're trying to find that inspiration. You need to align the new beginning with the pain. whatever happened, however it happened. And even those of you that didn't break up, if there was some kind of issue of insecurity going on for whatever reason, your partner's working and now your partner's a guy, all of a sudden here are all these females there, and you go to the Christmas dinner, you know, and you see 5 new females, and your partner's like, yeah, I know all of them, yeah. And I understand that insecurity, and I know I'm talking to Taurus here, because that is definitely a Taurus thing, like, who is that? But what needs to come into alignment is that if it's a new beginning, let it be a new beginning. Do not get all caught up in, you did this, and you did that, and you did this, and you did that. Don't sing that song. Find another one. Get that energy together. And for some of you, I don't know why that's coming back, but some of you may want to get counseling. However that's resonating. You may need to go get couples counseling. If you're trying to keep your relationship together, what needs to be aligned is what you currently have in the past. So if you currently like what you have, you got to let some part of the past go. It doesn't mean you have to forget it. You should forgive it. And I can't imagine you doing something with somebody and you're not being able to forgive them. But you got to get that energy together. You can't, every argument you get into, throw up the fact that something happened 4 years ago or 2 months ago or whatever. So that's what the two of you need to bring into alignment. Finally, what to avoid next year? What to avoid is ducking and dodging the transformation your relationship is going to. I mean, this is the full cycle of life right here in your face. Fertility card and death card. It don't get no better than that. Transformation is going to happen. Your relationship is going to change. Both of you are growing and evolving, I hope. And so that means where you were when you met, when you started your relationship, should not be where you are now. You should not be having the same issues, battles, and concerns that if you're in a 5-year relationship was going on in year 1.5. Shouldn't be happening. You should be beyond those things, whether it's money, whether it's emotional support, whether it's sex, whatever. You cannot duck and dodge the transformation. You have to grow. You have to evolve. The thing to avoid is not avoiding it. Face it head on. It's a transformation. And sometimes it means you need to sit down and have a conversation about, well, how was this year? How do you feel about this year? Those of you that are in a do-over, how do you feel? We've been back together 3 months. Are we good? And not in a, what do I want to say? Not in a manipulative, stalker kind of, how you think we doing that? No, not that. Just gently, this is a good idea, wasn't it? Without getting into all of the details. Some of you may need to get into the details if you are having problems, if one of you feels like you're growing faster than your partner. You may need to have that conversation. But what you don't want to do is not have the conversation. That's what you need to avoid. Avoiding shit next year. I don't know how else to put that, but that's what you need to avoid. Not facing things, not dealing with the truth of situations, and while you're at it, finding the inspiration to deal with the transformation. What the hell? I'm just saying. That's the full cycle. So that to me is very loudly and clearly telling me there's transformation going on. And Taurus for sure is going through a transformation with Uranus. But as a couple, you should be transforming. You should be evolving. You should be growing. And avoiding it and not stepping into the bigger the better is going to keep you where you are. I hear money rattling, so this has got something to do with money as well. And maybe as a couple, you need to evolve and quit avoiding the inevitable with your money, however that's resonating, and deal with the issues at hand. Doesn't seem like they're big issues. It seems like a lot of little things just got all railroaded for some of you just at one time, and they all just got jacked up. Somebody may have got laid off, lost a job, however that's resonating. But getting a handle as a collective as a me and you, us, getting a handle on the us finances and the us material prosperity so you can focus on your spiritual prosperity. That's that part. Let's see what the Oracle cards have for guidance for 2020 for Taurus and Scorpio. It's not a bad reading. It's got work in it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I always say when couples are working together, they are busy being a couple. If you're not working together, whatever it is, raising the kids, renovating the house, maintaining the house, whatever it is, running a business, you should be able to grow together. And again, it's a partnership. I don't know why that's just in my head, but it's a partnership. And one or the other of you may not be thinking like that. Taurus may be in a dominating mode where they're just used to that kind of coming back to this whole defensive thing. Why if that's resonating with you, it could be vice versa energy. But what I'm getting is Taurus kind of that dominating mode and having everything fucking down to a damn T in order and over here, and kind of just putting the Scorpio on edge. And understand the elemental energy. You're dealing with earth and water. You know, where we stand on terra firma, the water creatures be onto some other stuff. And they ain't tolerating too much of the earth stomping shit. They get in the water and swim away in a heartbeat. And I'm not saying that your partner is going to leave you, but sometimes mentally and emotionally, you know, the water people just be like, you know what, I'm out. I'll get back with you on that. It doesn't happen often, I don't think, with the water element. What is that? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But when it does happen, it is very, I almost want to say it's very effective, especially dealing with earth signs, because we're not used to, you know, when we move, you hear us move. But when y'all dip, it's just gone. And what always comes to mind with the water element is the school of fish. I'm telling you, get on YouTube and search schools of fish swimming and just watch how they all move in unison, going to the same place. And that's a trait of water signs. So when they get scary, they get defensive, and yeah, they emotionally clam up a bit. But the message there, whichever one of you is trying to dominate, there's no need to dominate. This is a solid relationship for the most part. It has its flaws, but it's a solid relationship. So do what you can to work together. Let's see what the Oracle cards have. Damn, let go. Who knew? Laugh. My Oracle cards, they just clown. You're the boss. It's not personal. Walk it off. So let me deal with the walk it off part first. This whole thing. Collaborating. Whoever it is, Taurus, Scorpio, you know, when you feel that urge to just nag a bit, walk it off. Go do something else. Go walk to the other room, walk to the kitchen, get a plate, get a glass, whatever. But do something. Just letting go. Let me just pull it full circle. Letting go requires sometimes that you just don't comment on everything. You just don't notice everything. This is your partner. This is supposed to be your life mate. However that's resonating with you. You know, unless y'all are together and plan on breaking up in 24 months, however. I'm just saying, sometimes you have to just learn to let it go. Yeah, that's my baby, but I swear to God, we go through a lot of toothpaste because he keeps leaving the cap off. Let it go. Let it go. Sometimes that means you just walk away. You just don't need a comment. That's your boo. Accept your boo as your boo. Period. Flaws and all. It's not personal. When you get into financial stuff, sometimes, you know, we want to kind of try and slide our emotions in sideways dealing with dollars and cents. It shouldn't be personal. And it's not personal. You're talking about your money. That's that shit to get you to work, get you home from work, puts food on the table, clothes on your back, and feeds the little juniors and misses you got running around your house. I'm just saying. So when it comes to dealing with your finances, it's not personal. Don't put your emotions in it. Look at the black and white of what you're dealing with. Again, that energy, this combined energy of Taurus and Scorpio, y'all need to get your material right so you can start focusing on your spiritual. Cut the emotions out of the finances. What else? You're the boss. This is your relationship, and I'm talking to both of you now. As a collective, look at the two arms. We're going to just look at the twos in the picture. You all are the boss. This is your relationship. Not mom and them. Not the people around the corner. Not your cousin. Not your aunt. Not your sister. And for some reason, siblings was coming back. So however that's resonating with you. You guys, Taurus and Scorpio, are the boss of the Taurus and Scorpio relationship. Now, if somebody's sister, cousin, aunt, brother is an Aries, they have nothing to do with Taurus and Scorpio at this point. Y'all are the boss. So for those of you that are in situations, especially financial, and you know, for one of the most difficult things in the world to really understand your finances, your money, how it works, how you work it. And then you always got some know-it-all trying to tell you what to do. You know, you need to put it over here. I heard. Yeah. Taurus and Scorpio, y'all are the boss of the whole situation, whole kit and caboodle. Don't let other people get into your shit. At the end of all of this, remember to laugh. It's a relationship, y'all. Y'all supposed to be having fun despite whatever else is going on. Supposed to be having fun. Laugh. Taurus, laugh with your Scorpio. Scorpio, laugh with your Taurus. It's okay. It's all good. I'm going to leave it here. I hope my Taurus and Scorpio babies have a wonderful new year. In the meantime, I hope you have a good week, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.